Hi everyone, I'm Kat and welcome to my channel, Naturally Beautiful Girl. So today I am finally bringing you my thoughts on the Clove Hallow Liquid Skin Tint Foundation. I am so excited to be trying this out. So I had a little bit of a saga trying to get a hold of this foundation. It just took a while to ship to me and it coincidentally arrived the exact same day that I left for a trip. And so I'm now back and going to be sharing my thoughts with you guys. As I mentioned on my Instagram, which if you don't follow me there, check me out at Naturally Beautiful Girl. But I have been avoiding reviews of this foundation because I really wanted to be able to share with you my honest thoughts and opinions and not really be influenced by anybody else. Before I jump into this, I want to let you know that I have extremely fair skin. It's porcelain. It's normally the lightest shade in foundations, and often the lightest shade is not actually light enough for me. So that's just kind of to give you an idea of my shade. I think I'm fairly neutral in undertone. I used to think I was had a pink undertone, but the more foundations and products that I use, the more I've come to realize that my undertone is pretty neutral. I do have extremely oily skin. It's always been oily, always will be oily, and it is very warm today in Boston, and so I will certainly be putting the wearability of this foundation to the test. And I am doing this video in two parts. I actually have not tried this foundation yet. When I'm filming this part of the video, this will be a pure first impression. I did swatch the shade 01, and this is the lightest shade of the foundation, and it does seem to be a fairly good shade match for me, which is a good sign. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is I'm going to be doing a first impressions right now. I will be sharing my thoughts with you, and then I will be doing check-ins throughout the day today to let you know what I think. And then tomorrow I'm going to go ahead and apply the foundation again and really give you my full thoughts after wearing this foundation for a full day. So it's a cross between a first impressions and a review. I normally like to try them out a little bit more before doing a full review, but the good news is that it is super hot, so we will be able to tell very easily if it breaks apart on me. I do want to say the only thing I have on my skin right now is the Malu Protecting Day Cream SPF 30. I am going to be running around today doing a whole bunch of errands, so I wanted to make sure that my skin was protected from the sun because this foundation does not contain sunscreen. I'm going to go ahead and just apply this. What it says for the directions is to blend into skin with clean fingertips, brush or sponge, and layer for desired coverage. I'm going to be first going in with a brush. We'll see how that works. I typically apply my foundations with a brush, and I want to kind of go at this the way I normally apply my foundation. So we'll start there and then adjust if needed. I may have just squeezed out too much, we'll see. First thoughts here. The shade 01 may actually be too light for me. This never happens. I've had this issue with the Pacifica foundation, their lightest shade, the Pacifica Light foundation, their lightest shade is too light for me. And I may actually have this problem with this one too. I have the shade 02. I think I will try that one tomorrow. I have a bad feeling I may need to mix 01 and 02. It kind of looks like I put on sunscreen. Like I feel like it really lightened my face. I mean, it matches my neck pretty well. I don't know if I like my foundation to be quite this light. So the good news is that if you are extremely fair, like I am, at least there are options. So the shade is pretty light. I have to say though, it feels so good on. Like just first off, it feels super lightweight, which is what it says. It says it's supposed to be a lightweight foundation. And I feel that way. Like I really don't feel like I have foundation on at all. So that was nice. The coverage, at least for me, was pretty, what would I say this coverage is? It's on the lighter side. I'd say light medium. I think you can build this up a little bit more. I'm not really building it up too much because I've been going for less full coverage makeup, so I like the coverage I have right now, but I'm not sure it's like super full coverage. It's not as much coverage as like the Pacifica Light foundation, and honestly I think the Ilia True Skin Serum foundation has more coverage than this, but it's not overly dewy, it's not overly matte, it's very much just like a skin-like finish. The finish is nice, it feels very comfortable, the shade 01 is super light, but I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my makeup, and then I will check back in with you in a little bit. So I'm putting this on now, it's about 12:15. I think I'm going to be using a mixture of cream and powder products today, so that'll really put this to the test. I am going to go ahead and set it though. You guys know I always set my foundation. I am a huge advocate for that if you have oily skin. It really does make a world of difference. And I'm kind of curious to see how these two play together, so I'm going to be setting it with the Clove Hallow powder foundation. I really have been loving this. This is an excellent powder foundation. I don't know why it took me so long to try it, but I am enjoying it. I will meet back with you in what will be for you a few seconds. All right, you guys, I am back for a check-in. As you can see, I have done the rest of my makeup. It's been about an hour and a half from when I first applied the foundation to now. Don't worry, I didn't just spend the time doing my makeup. I also ate lunch, which is probably more important than finishing my makeup in the grand scheme of things. And also because I'm a person that's very prone to hanger, so eating lunch is always good. So my thoughts so far, I really like the foundation. I like how it is wearing so far. It's not really settling into any fine lines on my face. Also, I did have a pretty easy time applying products on top of it. I did set it, like I said, with the Clove Hallow powder foundation, and that worked really well, and it allowed me to build up the coverage a little bit more. Also, I did use the Clove Hallow Hydratint blush, so that is what I have on my cheeks as blush. And I did try out their powder bronzer. I actually ended up purchasing the bronzer when I purchased the foundation. I hadn't tried it before, and that worked really well as well. And I think that overall helped to kind of warm up the look and not make my foundation look so pale on me. So overall, I'm really happy so far, and I will be checking in with you guys later to see how it continues wearing, but it just feels really late on my face, which I keep saying this over and over again, but it is really hot in Boston. And so having it not feel heavy on my skin is really quite nice. So I will see you guys soon. If I look a little bit tired, I've actually had my foundation on for 11 hours now. It is 11 p.m. and I'm about to wash my makeup off and go to bed. I just got back from a late dinner and I'm in my bathroom, getting ready to wash my face. So I wanted to update you on the foundation because this has actually been an 11-hour wear test, which is pretty impressive. So I don't know if you can see, it's worn off my nose a bit. You can definitely see some redness on my nose, and I think it's worn off my forehead a little bit. But the interesting thing is, even though it's worn off, it didn't really break apart on me. Like, you can still see on my cheeks and on my chin that it's not really broken apart. Yes, some of my skin is showing through now more than before, but it's not really broken apart. So I'm actually pretty impressed, and I'm not overly oily either. And I should add as well that I got stuck in a torrential downpour today. So part of what might be missing on my nose might actually be from being rained on, because it was like a Florida style full-blown thunderstorm, like buckets of rain coming down all of a sudden, and then lasted for like 5 minutes and then went away, and blue skies again. So given all that, given the humidity, given how hot it has been, and given that I've had it on for 11 hours, I am really impressed. I'm looking forward to trying out this foundation again tomorrow, and yeah, so far so good. I'm quite impressed by it. So I will check in with you tomorrow. So I'm back. This is now day 2 of me trying and reviewing this foundation for you guys. You will have seen that I really did like how this foundation wore and how it looked throughout the day yesterday. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this again today and then give you my final thoughts on it. So first off, as you saw yesterday, the shade 01 seemed a little bit too fair for me. So I'm going to try mixing shade 1 and shade 2 together. First, I'm going to swatch both of them for you so you can see. I'm hoping maybe if I mix the two, I will get my perfect shade. The lighter shade down below is shade 1, and then the darker shade is shade 2. Shade 2 is not that much darker than shade 1. Here, I'll swatch it on my face for you guys. So this is shade 2 right there. And then this is shade 1. So I think honestly, if I mix these two together, I'll probably be about the right shade. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Honestly, I also want to try applying this in my hand. So let's go ahead and do that. I think this is a little better. It's still a bit light for me. Honestly, I might just be shade 2, which is kind of crazy. That's not something that really happens for me. But I do think that at least mixing the two is better. But like I said, I might just try fully shade 2 next time. It did apply really well with my hands, which is awesome because I am going to be doing a lot of traveling. I've already done some, and I would love to be able to travel with a foundation and not bring a brush with me because that's just one more thing I have to carry, one more thing I have to pack. So yeah, so far I'm pretty impressed yet again with application. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup and I will be back. So now I'm back and my makeup is fully done. It's actually been about 2 hours since I initially applied the foundation. I had to finish my makeup and then I actually went to mass and came back. So it's been about 2 hours. So it's been sitting on my face for 2 hours. I want to share with you my final thoughts and review of this foundation. So first off, this foundation is cruelty-free and vegan, which is awesome. All products from Clove Hallow are cruelty-free and vegan, which is really, really exciting. And I really love that about the brand. It makes it super easy if you want to pick out vegan products. You don't have to worry about like a shade not being vegan or a certain product in the line not being vegan. They all are. They do have 12 shades of the foundation, which, okay, in this day and age, that's not fantastic, but for non-toxic beauty, that's pretty good. So I'm not going to sit here and say that they have an incredible shade range. I'm just going to say it's better than a lot, especially as an initial launch. It obviously, I know, goes very fair, so I can attest to that. It looks like on the swatches that it goes somewhat deep. I'm not going to really comment on that because I don't have a deep skin tone, so I really am not in a place to tell you if the deep shades are at all helpful or not. I will say that the two fairest shades are pretty good. They're not too pinky or they're not coming off orangey on me. Like, they seem pretty neutral and undertone, which is good. I really do like the packaging of these. These, I'm not entirely sure how many fluid ounces are in these because for some reason they list the product amount in grams and milliliters. It's 31 milliliters for reference, or 31 grams, but I don't know what that would be in fluid ounces. I'm gonna guess. I'm trying to guess from looking at this and comparing this to another foundation. I'm going to compare this to my Crop Naturals Moisture Balance Foundation. This is about 1 fluid ounce, so I'm going to say this is maybe 1.5. Yeah, probably about 1.5, just judging from size. The price of this foundation is pretty good. It's $26. I'm gonna be honest, I expected there to be a lower price point, especially for Clove Hallow. Their products do tend to be on the more affordable side, and for this size and amount of product, I feel like $26 is a little bit steep. Obviously, it's a lot better than a lot of other foundations on the market, but I'm going to just say that, you know, I think it's slightly steep for Clove Hallow and for the amount of product that you are getting. I do have a discount code. It's not an affiliated discount code, even though it says affiliate in it. I just have one for you guys because I am an affiliate through my links. I don't make any commission off the code, but I do make commission off if you use my links. But I will put that discount code down in the description box. I have it in all of my videos actually. If you want to purchase this foundation or any of the other products from Clove Hallow, I will put that down in the description box down below so you can save some money. So I've worn this for 2 days now, and I'm going to say one thing. It applies really easily. I used my brush to apply it the first day, and I used my hands to apply it the second day. And it applied really well both ways. And I did have a moisturizer on. I had my Hanua Malu Day Cream on, which is an SPF moisturizer. And this foundation did glide on top of that really well, but I could tell from the consistency that even if I didn't have a moisturizer on underneath it, I still think it would have blended out well. Having a moisturizer on under your foundation always helps it to blend out even easier, but I think given the consistency, it would have blended out fine without it, especially given that it worked well with a brush and with my hands. There are very few foundations out there that really, I feel like you can blend out with your hands or with a brush. They also said you could use a sponge with this, and I think that would work well. I don't even know if I have a sponge on hand at the moment. I think I do somewhere, but not sure exactly where it is. So I didn't test it with a sponge, but I think if you're a fan of using sponges, that would also be a good way to apply this. It's not super full coverage. I think it's between light and medium in terms of full coverage. It is a bit buildable, but I did try and build it up in some areas of my face today. Now, I could build it up some, but as with any foundation, you can build it up to a point, and that's about as far as you can get with building it up. So if you're looking for something really full coverage, this would not be great. But if you are looking for something a little bit more on the light coverage side, this is good. It also does dry down, but it doesn't dry down to a matte finish. Like, it doesn't feel matte on my skin, nor does it look matte, but it's not sticky anymore, which I really like. I like it when foundations dry down a little bit, especially because I have oily skin. And it makes setting the foundation easier because then you're setting something that's a little bit more matte and not as still sticky. So I really like the way that this dries down and the finish that it has. I'd say it's a skin-like finish, kind of like a demi-matte finish. It's in between being dewy. It's not dewy, but it's not a full matte either. It's sitting right in the middle, which honestly, if I could have every foundation with that type of finish, that would be ideal for me. And I think it would work well for a variety of skin tones. I think because of that finish, if you have drier skin, you could probably use this foundation, make sure you moisturize well underneath it, and maybe not set it. But I think with my oily skin, it works really well as well because it does dry down a bit, and I go ahead and set it, and when I do that, it wears very well throughout the day. And this one did set very well. I used the Clove Hallow powder foundation, which I've been using a ton recently, and not surprisingly, the combination worked really well. I mean, obviously you could use any other powder you wanted to set it. Today for blush and highlight, I used the Kosas Cream Highlight and Cream Blush in 8th Muse, and it worked really well with this foundation. It had dried down enough where when I went to apply the cream blush and cream highlight, it wasn't scooting the foundation around. So that was a really good test. Some foundations work better with cream blushes and cream highlights. This foundation does seem to play well with those. Also yesterday, I tried it with a combination of the Blossom Hydratint from Clove Hallow and the Crop Naturals Highlight in Moondust Monty. And I also used the Clove Hallow bronzer. I believe this is the shade Cabo. This is the lightest bronzer. And it worked really well with all of those products as well. The cream blush blended out, the liquid blush blended out really well on top. The powder highlighter and bronzer did apply very well. They weren't kind of grabbing at anything. And I did go ahead and set the foundation before I applied the powder products. But even sometimes with some foundations, if they don't dry down enough, even with setting it, I can still run into issues with powder products grabbing and kind of having difficulty blending out. But this one, I was able to get a very easy, very smooth canvas to work with, and you know, I didn't have any problems with powder products. So that being said, if you like other face cream or liquid face products, or you like using powder products, this foundation plays really well with both. I also want to talk about how it wore throughout the day. So I wore it for 11 hours yesterday, which you saw in my check-in, and by the end of the day, it had worn off in areas and I did get more glowy. That being said, it has been nearly 80 degrees both yesterday and today, and we've been having intermittent thunderstorms, and I got caught in the rain yesterday, and on my way to Mass, I got caught in the rain today. It is going to wear off, I think, especially if you have oily skin. I think if you have drier skin, it probably will have even better longevity. I'm just used to all of my foundations kind of wearing off because I have oily skin. It's gonna happen, especially if you're wearing a foundation for 11 hours, it's going to happen. But what I liked about this one was that it didn't break apart and it didn't look bad. Yes, I could start seeing my skin underneath, but it was wearing away in a way that it looked really good. So I didn't mind that it was wearing off. What I have an issue with is when foundations break apart and start looking patchy, like you'll see like clumps of the foundation, and that was not happening with this one. If you have seen a foundation break apart on you, you know what I'm talking about. It looks weird. Whereas this one, yeah, my skin was showing through, but it didn't look weird. So I am okay with that. In fact, I'm quite happy with how it wore throughout the day. Given the heat, given how oily my skin is getting, I think it wears really, really well. So it is definitely oily skin approved, which is exciting because not all foundations work well for oily skin. I'm having a little bit of difficulty with the shade, as you're seeing. So the shade 01, I think it's too light for me. You guys will have to let me know in the comment section down below. It's not helping that the filming of this video has been done on 2 days where it has been very cloudy and very rainy, so my lighting is a little bit off in this video and in yesterday's video as well, but I think the shade 01 is actually too fair for me. I did mix in some of 02 today, and I think that that was a much better shade match for me. So I think if you are super fair, like really, really fair, I mean, I think 01 works for me, but I just don't want to look like pale. Like I want it to blend in with my skin, but not make my face look even lighter than what it is. So if you use 01, I would probably use a bronzer. And I think I'm going to be either sticking with mixing 02, or maybe tomorrow I will just try 02 on its own. The shades 01 and 02 are actually pretty similar. Like there's not a huge difference between the shades. So unless you are super, super, super fair, I would not go for 01. I would actually probably go with 02. I wish I had a more definitive answer on shade. You guys can judge from watching me apply it if you think 01's a good shade for me. I know a lot of you have really fair skin like I do, but I feel like 01 may be too light for us. 02 may be a little bit too dark, so I think we're gonna have to mix them, or just kind of pick one and work with it. You know, pick 01 and use a bronzer or something like that. But actually, and I don't want to say that in a negative way, I'm actually really happy because most foundations are too dark for me. I totally anticipated 01 being too dark for me, if anything. And I don't know why I even bought 02. I bought it kind of on a whim. I'm glad I did because otherwise I would have a foundation that I could make work, but it is quite light for me. I'm going to swatch both of these on my Instagram for you guys so you can see against my skin tone. I will say that my arms are lighter than my face. I figured that out from doing a lot of swatches, but if you want to see a picture where the lighting is a little bit better, I will show that on my Instagram. So be sure to follow me at Naturally Beautiful Girl to see that. What do I think of the foundation? I really, really like it. I am going to say that I do recommend it. I love the finish that it has. I feel like I look like I'm not wearing foundation in the best possible way. I look like I just have very flawless, smoothed out skin, and I honestly am kind of in love with it. Like I was looking in the mirror all day yesterday. I actually went shopping, and so I was in a lot of fitting rooms, and I just kept looking in the mirror and being so impressed by how it looked. And even this morning on my way out the door, I stopped and looked in the mirror, and I just really liked how my skin looked. Like I felt like it looked like I just had that flawless model skin and wasn't wearing a foundation. And I think part of what makes this foundation so good is that it is a little bit lighter coverage. So you see some of your imperfections. So your skin still very much looks like skin. It doesn't look like you're wearing a foundation. So I really, really like that. And as I said, I have been tending towards a little bit lighter coverage. This morning, I have some more breakouts than I would like, but you know, sometimes that happens to you. I was traveling and not able to do my full skincare routine for a few days, and so my face is definitely showing signs of that. But in general, I really have been enjoying a lighter coverage foundation, and this is one I will definitely be reaching for. To me, it is most similar actually to the Crop Naturals foundation. I love that one. I brought that one with me traveling. It has really become one of my all-time favorite foundations. I need to do a video, you guys, on my favorite foundations. I feel like I owe that to you guys, like my top 5 favorite foundations in non-toxic beauty. I should add that to my video to-do list. But I really like that one because it's also lighter coverage and it's very much like this kind of demi-matte finish. And I actually think I like the Clove Hallow one better than the Crop Natural, because the Crop Natural is, and I talked about this in my video reviewing it, is it's very thick and it's actually difficult to blend out. Like it's a very thick formula and it kind of sticks to itself. And so you have to like use a brush and really massage it around to get it blended out. Once you get it blended out, it looks great. But this one was so much easier to blend out. I could use my hands, I could use a brush, and both worked really well. So I think I may actually like this one better. Who do I think would like this foundation? Someone that's looking for a cruelty-free vegan foundation. Someone that's looking for something with a little bit lighter coverage, but still wants to even out their skin tone, still wants to cover things up, but still look like their skin is skin. Also, if you want something that's easy to apply, that it's not streaky, that you don't have to worry about getting blended out, I also think this foundation is great. If I would change anything about it, I would honestly add SPF to it. Because I'm a huge fan of having SPF in your face products. That would have been great. But otherwise, I really like it. And I like the packaging. It's a squeezy tube, which is easy to work with. And it's got a very small profile, which honestly, I'm going to take this foundation with me traveling because this is kind of perfect for travel. I have to say, I recommend it. I still have not watched anybody else's review of this foundation, so I don't know what they think about it, but I just wanted to share my thoughts with you guys. Let me know in the comment section down below if you have any further questions on this. Also, let me know if you're planning to purchase this. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this product as well. So let me know all that, and be sure to check out my Instagram. Once again, I'm at naturallybeautifulgirl. I'll be doing some swatches of this foundation on there, so hopefully that will help you out as well. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel as well, so you can find out about more non-toxic, cruelty-free content. Also, let me know what kind of videos you're excited for me to do. I have a lot of ideas for videos, but I want to hear what you guys are interested in. I want to hear what content you want me to do. I typically focus more on reviews. Do you like that? Do you not like that? Let me know all of that in the comment section down below. And once again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!